Good morning, traders. Today is January 27th. My name is Charles, and this is the Pirate Traders live stream. My apologies for getting up and running a bit late here today. What are we looking at in the profile? Okay, so the market is open. We're inside the previous day's range, so we are looking for chop here this morning. We're looking for the market to grind up and down. The overnight inventory was net long, so we would expect some kind of counter auction to the downside. And we'll look for support inside, I guess that's the thing about a balancing area. This is what I wanted to talk about, why I'm disappointed I didn't get started sooner. So what we've got here in the market right now is what we call a balancing area. I'm drawing it like this right here, that this is our balancing area, okay? And when you're inside of a balancing area, what you often do is just continually trade from one end of balance to the other. Okay, so what I feel like happened yesterday was the market in the morning was trying to break out of balance. It was trying to get higher. And those of you that were watching the stream, remember, I was shocked that we were not pulling back down into the previous day's range in the morning. Like, it was so strange how we were staying up there. Well, I think now what was happening was the market was trying to break out to the upside. But then when the Fed minutes came out and the chairman of the Federal Reserve started talking, the market made a different decision and pulled back into that balancing area. So once you pull into a balancing area, you increase the odds significantly that you're going to trade to the opposite end of balance. But we didn't quite make it there yesterday, right? We were a little bit short of the balancing area by just that little bit. So the market had to come down and test that in the overnight. So what I think is happening now is the market is turning its way back up to test that balance area high once again. So for those of you that understand balance areas, it's a purely it's like an art form. There's no exactness to it. You kind of just have to guess and feel it out. So this is the level I'm looking at here as the potential balancing area high, but we can pretty much consider it like this node of volume right here. If this morning in the chop, we're able to push our way above that node, come back down and find support, that is a breakout of balance. Breaking out of balance often leads to excess. It leads to a move, like a big push, in that direction. So if we break out to the upside, we're likely to get a big push over the next few days higher. If we fail, though, if we come back up to this node, get in there, can't get above it, pull back down, or get above it and fail and pull back down, then the target once again becomes the opposite end of balance down here around those overnight lows. So what we understand about how the market works is it's constantly moving from excess to balance, breaks out, excess, balance, excess, can't quite get higher, starts to come down, balance. You see what I'm saying? So we create these balancing areas. That's how the market moves. That's how it works its way out. You get excess, you get a big push to a new location, then you balance there, big push. When you're in a balancing area, it could break either way. Because balancing areas are how the market makes a bottom as well. So it could pull down, balance in here, and then break out to the upside or continuation. So that's pretty much my way of looking at the market right now. Intraday today, I'm assuming chop. And I'm looking to test this node of volume just above us and find out if we get resistance there. If we pull back down below 44.05, that would be a very strong short for me. As far as support, I'd have to wait till we traded down towards this overnight POC. Actually, no, this node here, I could look for support at 43.63-ish. And remember, when we open inside the previous day's range and inside the previous day's value area, we usually get chop. A good half an hour to hour of going nowhere and just grinding up and down. So prepare yourself for that. That was some speed analysis this morning. I knocked that out. 23 likes already. Thank you, guys. 84 of us here. If you haven't yet, I'd love it if you could push that thumbs up button. Get that algorithm up and running. Good morning. Diego, Big Ray, Cyrus, Mark, FRM, Philip, The Shaw, Ronald, RK. RK wrote something and took it away, so I don't know if he's having a good morning. He might have regretted saying good morning, but welcome, RK. Amir is here. Jose, J Trader, TV back in the house. Good to see you, brother. Mick Stockster is here. Scooball, David V. Rev, greetings to you. David G, good morning to you. Marco and Design Knob. Welcome, everyone. James is here. Sanju, Nicholas, Laser Eye, San Diego Trader. Stephen, man, I'm getting too many good mornings. I'm not going to be able to say it to everybody. Van Gilder, John Doe. Welcome, John Doe. We hope you find your identity soon. Lahab is saying long here. He's trying to trade this chop. Probably looking for a quick little bite. MK, good morning to you. Nor Auto Trader, good morning to you. So once again, just expecting chop. Support in here. Resistance in here. And the market to just kind of bounce, at least for the first half an hour of the day, while we digest the overnight inventory. Amir is saying he's inverse Lahab. He's shorting where Lahab went wrong. Shots fired. Mudra, welcome to you. Nunez, one day Charles will be so big we won't get our good mornings anymore. That's true. It's a good problem to have, though. We shouldn't push like then. To get your like, I got to say good morning. Oh, you're saying don't push it to keep the audience from growing? Yeah. Amir, yeah, it's a tricky thing, you know. There's so many different ways to make money in the market. That's the thing about it, is even if you inverse other traders and make money, they might still be making money too. Everybody's kind of got their own approach to the market. Cyrus, yeah, I moved my cumulative up to 60 days just because there was no data down here from the last 30. So I changed it to 60 days. Good catch, man. You got a laser eye to recognize that. Mark, we like the small and accessible pirate. Yeah, but the pirate doesn't want that. To do small and accessible, you have to do it like Jim Dalton. You have to charge a ton of money to justify the work you put in. You know what I mean? That's why he charges $500 to $1,000 a course, because he has really small groups of people and he can give them the attention. But to justify the workload, he has to charge a lot. So I'm trying to do the opposite business model where I charge very, very little and make the money off the size, like grow such a big audience that it justifies the work I put in. But we're nowhere near there yet. So please keep pushing that like button. Growth is necessary. All right, so we're pushing up into some resistance here. So once again, the big tell will be this node around from yesterday's POC. So we'll say like 44.09 to 44.20. If the market is able to get above that level and stay above it, that would be extremely bullish for continuation to the upside as a breakout of balance. But recognize that the last time we tried to break out, we failed. So there's a very real possibility we push up into this resistance, can't get above it, and that causes us to sell off down towards yesterday's lows. So keeping an eye on that. Balance areas are very, very important. Shubaho Deep, good morning to you. Lahab, we are trading here based on technicals only, chart trading. Yeah, but I'm saying with chart trading, there's so many different ways to approach a market. You know what I mean? So some people are like a scalper. And so, when you might put going long here, they might short it and they'll make a little bit of money on a quick little pullback. But you're going for a longer trade. So you're all right with entering along and letting it pull back a little bit and waiting for it to get into the profits, right? Like everybody kind of just approaches each individual trade with their own parameters. But yes, love me some chart. I think market generated information is the only reliable information. Shubaho Deep starting into volume node resistance right now in the SPX. Yeah, I can't pull up the SPX specifically on market profile, but I assume, yeah, they probably balanced in the exact same area yesterday. So we are testing that resistance. Mark, just get the course done. You got it, brother. That's the plan. Diego's calling for 44.13.25. Yeah, I agree with that. That's where the resistance is waiting. So I think we can get up into there. Futures trader, good morning. Welcome. Scooball, place to short if we fail is below a period now? No. So if you're going to short, you want to short now. You want to short in the resistance up here, because if we push back down, towards the a period low, the market will start looking for support in there. That's what chop is, right? It's just bouncing in between. So if you're going to go short, you want to be doing it in resistance. So, for example, if you went short right now at this moment, where are you going to put your stop? Say you put it above that node. So you're taking on 20 points of risk. That's a lot of risk. So I'd be patient and wait to get into the resistance and reduce that risk a little bit. Something like that right there. With a humongous potential reward if we look above and fail the balancing area. So Jim Dalton doesn't trade, just teach? No, he trades as well. But I'm saying compensation for your effort, right? Like, I put a lot of work into the Brigade, as does he into his teaching programs. Like, many, many hours of work go into it. Not even just while I'm live streaming, but answering emails and all these other things. I probably spend an hour a day answering people on social media and emails and this and that, but I don't get paid for it, right? So when you're running a business, even if you have money to live, even if you can make enough money from your trading to pay your bills, to justify the workload you put in on the business, you need compensation. And that's what I'm referring to. That's why he charges so much, to give him the motivation to keep doing it. All right, testing that resistance. Lahab, that's a strong uptrend. Yeah, I mean, again, it's chop. It's not an uptrend. It's a test. They have to test to see if they're going higher or lower. So let's give them a chance. If they succeed, what it would look like is they would push above this node, right, and come back down and find support. Then I'll buy it. Then I'll call it trending. But we haven't tested anything, so we don't know yet. Ashik saying I should double the price of the Brigade. All right, you guys can blame him. No, I'm still trying to grow. I'd rather make the money through growth. Bring more people in. Internals are looking pretty bullish here. They're sort of signaling we could break out here. Okay, so far, good taper on the high. So somebody asked about entries for a short. If I was going to enter a short, this area has much less risk than having tried to enter here. Rev, is Mind Over Matter a good book for beginners? I think you're talking about Mind Over Markets, Jim Dalton's first book, and yeah, it's great. It's really, really good. J Trader grandfather in $10 for life. That's another idea. All right, the battle is being fought. Buyers versus sellers. The buyers seem to be building up steam here. They're keeping the ticks above that zero line. Scooball ticks trending lower. Yeah, but not really because they're staying above the zero line, right? The overnight inventory was net long, so they opened all the way up here. So they needed to pull down. So the pulling down doesn't really worry me at all. It's whether or not they get below that zero line. Because as long as they hold it above, there are more people buying than selling. Even if it's going down, there are still more buyers. right, the resistance is holding. So at least for the moment. Okay, so it feels like it's just some laggard buyers trying to take another stab at it, but they're probably going to fail. We came exactly into the resistance. We got good taper, and we're now starting to pull back down into the balance area high. So the more time we spend now below this level, below the balance area high, the more we increase the odds we need to head to the opposite end of balance. So at this point, I am bearish unless we get back above this resistance. Okay. In which case I will go neutral, like I said, looking for a breakout and support. But as long as this resistance holds and we stay back inside this balancing area, the odds that we're down here by tomorrow or the next day are pretty high. And why? You're like, Charles, why? What does this matter? Well, a balancing area, much like rotation intraday, is just a sign on a longer term that there's uncertainty in the market. That half the participants think the market's going to go up and half think it's going to go down, and they're kind of just betting with each other over it. That's the conceptual idea anyway. And so if the buyers push the market from all the way down here up to here, right? They did it. Let me just draw these. So they brought it all the way down here, pushed it up to here, couldn't break out. So what did they do? They brought it back down again. Tried to break out, couldn't break out, brought it back down again. So that pattern often continues until you finally do break out one direction or another. J Trader, why do I sound tired? Asking if I've had my coffee. I'm drinking it right now. All right. Moment of truth. Will that resistance hold here into the B period? Okay, at this point I got my stop below break even and I'm going to trail it on the way down. Next area of support, 43.60 or 43.65, Chris Yee. 60 or 65? Yeah. 64.65. I mean, it's a balancing area, so there's like so much support in here. I mean, any of this could be support. But the longer term conceptual idea is that if they fail to get above, they'll come back down and test this other end. But yeah, you got support in here. Yeah, I mean, just everywhere in here. Support in there. Support in there. Mark, when are you determining a balance area? Is it based on value areas only? No, it's not based on value areas at all. So I've actually been calling for this balance area for the last couple of days. I don't know if you've remembered that I was talking about it. But when in this overnight, when we created this little node right here, exactly the same as this one, that was when I first said this could potentially be a balance area high. Let's wait and see what happens. But I have no idea where the balance area low would be, but this is the balance area high potentially. Then we traded down. So then I was like, okay, this area could be a balance area low, but I don't know yet. We haven't retested it now. So then yesterday's look above and fail of this level, taking us all the way back down to here, is what makes me, that's like the verification. This is what a balancing area should do. So now we're in balance. So I was seeing it as potentially setting up here. It was also because value was overlapping to higher, which is a sign that the downtrend is coming to an end. And how do you end trends? With balance. That's how you bring a trend to an end. So I've been kind of waiting for confirmation. And when I woke up this morning and saw that the failure to break out yesterday brought us all the way to the opposite end, that was the confirmation in my mind. All right, here come the buyers. So by now, if you were in a short from this node, you should have moved your stop below break even and be back out. So you're either looking to re-enter the short for the next attempt, or you're waiting to see, do we break out so that you can buy the support when it comes back down. Or both, right? Get into the short, get stopped out, wait for the market to push higher, buy the support. You can actually do both. MW, please share your clock again. All right, I'm not going to make this a regular thing. Is it 10:05 where you are? Is it 30 seconds? Is it 50 seconds? We don't know. Five seconds today. Nice. Nunez, would you consider a balance area high as a semi-impermeable membrane? Yeah, I mean that's essentially what's happening, right? It's like every time, you're in a balancing area, every time you go back up and poke at it, you're increasing the odds you'll break out one way or another. Poke, 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 and then just eventually one of them breaks out. So yeah, you could think about it as that. A regular support resistance level. One thing that is very tricky, I forgot to mention about balance area highs, is that they often do this. They often grind and grind and grind and grind. And it's so frustrating because you'll be like, I'm short, I'm long, I'm short, I'm long. Is it going to break out? Is it not going to break out? And you'll be like jumping in and out of trades. But then when you step back at the end of the day, it seems so clear. Like, oh, it looked above, just like yesterday, right? If we expand out yesterday's profile, there's no question that on a longer term basis, we looked above and then failed. But during this whole time, I mean, you would have been going nuts waiting for that failure. So if you'd have known that was a balance area then. Mr. Gaylord, welcome. Good to see you. All right, so if they can break above that A period high, I will go back to neutral and then looking for the market to push higher and then pull back down and test this node for support. Okay, so we just created a poor high. The most common thing that happens is a push away. If we immediately repair it, getting one more tick higher, that would be a little more bullish to see. Push away it is. Lahab resistance is at R1 daily or SMA 10? SMA 10 on what, the daily? Chrissy, 100%. If we push above the A period high and come back down, it doesn't have to be right at the A period high, just anywhere in this area. If it comes back down and finds support, that is a very good long. It is just as, it has just as much potential for reward in a long trade here as if the market fails to break out in a short trade there. That's what makes these areas right around a balancing area, high or low, so pivotal. Because whichever way it breaks from where it is now, it will push either to the opposite end of balance or new excess to the upside. Is your heart racing? Are you so curious which way is the market going to go? We'll find out soon. J Trader, is this a potential donkey trade? No, it is not. The donkey trade requires the market is already trending, and we don't consider the market officially trending until the C period, because the initial balance, it's very common for the market to trend one way for the first hour and then reverse the rest of the day. So we wait for that C period. All right, back to neutral. They got above that resistance. So that should cause some short covering. That'll give us a little pop higher. And then we'll test that support when it comes back down. Gaylord, can someone share a resource to learn how to trade this chart? Yeah, I'm doing it right now, brother. I'm sitting here telling you how to look at it and how to read it and how to trade it. But a great resource, the two I learned from, is Peter Reznicek on Shadow Trader and Jim Dalton at Jim Dalton Trading. Yeah, terms and everything. Shadow Trader is great for that. If you just go to... Actually, you know what? Actually, somebody showed me a window trader, a really good one the other day. They're like glossary. There you go. Windowtrader.com / market dash profile / market profile glossary index. Or you just go to windowtrader.com. And this has all the terms right here that we talk about. And it's really well explained, very simplistically. I'll throw a link in the description. $777. Did you buy another BTC at 33, Charles? I did not. I bought some at 40, and now I'm kind of waiting. I'm starting to get those like bear market vibes from Bitcoin. Let me pull up a chart. Yeah, so what often happens, or at least anyway what happened the last time, was that we had this massive push higher. You come back down, it takes a long time to capitulate down here at lower prices. And the last one, the bubble that I was trading back in like 2017, I mean, this was like 2 years. of like consolidation before we got the final capitulation that brought us back to a new bull market. So I'm starting to get nervous. We might be sitting down here at lower levels for 6 months or a year or something. On the corn. But 33 is a really good price to buy. Or if you can get you some 3,200, that's a great deal. As I've discussed before, I think this is the floor. I think, 29 or 28, 500. That's the floor. But we just might spend months doing this, before we finally start another bull run. J Trader, you should buy Ethereum. I own Ethereum. Okay, let's go check the ticks. Okay, still trending down, and they're below the zero line now. So there are more sellers entering the market than buyers. We got good taper on the high. So will this resistance hold this time? We shall see. Is that red tick big enough? No. So the big red tick, that's if it's trending higher. So if the ticks are working their way higher, and then you get that one big red tick, that's the sign of the end of an uptrend. But this is just trending lower. That's all that is. Mere NFTs were a sign we were in a pretty crazy bull market. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. People paying tens of thousands of dollars for an image of a thing that looks exactly the same as 10,000 other images. Yep. That's a sign the top is in. Got to get your tulips. Mark, I'm still long on tulips. It has to turn around. Well, not NFTs. Did you buy a bunch of NFTs? Buying Ethereum is perfectly fine. That will definitely come back. but if you bought a picture of a monkey, no promises. All right, well, the buyers are putting in a fight here. Every time we dip below the zero line, they pull it back up. So that is a sign that there are buyers stepping in at these levels, trying to push the market higher. And now it's really a question of whether they succeed or fail. If they keep buying in here and they can't get the market to go higher, eventually they're going to have to exit those trades, and then we get our pullback. Or we get the breakout. Still too early to tell. Binance keeps listing coins that have already had their run. That is very interesting as an idea. Like they're trying to open up more liquidity so they can dump their shitty coins. Back to bearish. Same as before. They'll prove me wrong if they can get above the B period high. I'll be back to neutral. But right now I'm starting to think all these buyers that have been piling on in here, they're going to give up soon. Check the NQ. It might tell us something. Good idea. I haven't looked at it yet today. Yeah, the NQ looks, man, it's also in a balancing area, but it's a big balance area. I would draw it like that right there. So on the Q, you're nowhere near your balancing area high. You're still kind of in the middle of balance. Lots of resistance in here. Lots of support in here. Actually in here too. So I have to disagree, David. I think the ES will probably give us a clue before the Q will. The Q's harder to read here. MK, I am loving your commentary. I just made 4 points on the downside. Congratulations, brother. Well, you made those points. To the victor go the spoils. JTrader, 158 point range if you include Globlex. Is that for the ES? That must be for the Q, right? Yeah, you're right. Jesus. Well, guess what can happen? Fail to break out and do 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 do. MK, 16 points on the ES is a nice little day. Treat yourself. Go out for some beers tonight. Michael Saylor, I don't know who that is, but he's wrong. I don't know what else that guy talks about, but he don't know anything about Bitcoin. Well, thank you for saying so, MK. I appreciate it. Oh, he's the MicroStrategy CEO. Oh, yeah, that guy's like the biggest Bitcoin bull on earth. I think I own a share of that stock, actually, that I bought like a while ago before you could invest in BTC in the regular market. I bought a share of that as a similar conceptual idea. Okay, so now that we've broken the initial balance to the downside, we have begun what we call one time framing lower. So our assumption is that the market is going to keep trading lower until one of these 30-minute candles, 30-minute TPOs gets above the previous high. So if the D period high can get above this C period high, that would be the sign the trend is over. But until then, we assume the market is pushing its way lower here. So with that, I shall bid you all farewell, au revoir. Have a great rest of your day. If you are a member of the Brigade, head on over to the private stream and we can hang out there. If you're not, there's a link in the description. It only costs $10. They've been begging me all day to raise the price, so get in now. All right. Have a great rest of your day, everyone. Bye-bye.